Fear is the root of human life. It dates all the way back to when we were hunters and gatherers hunting woolly mammoths in the plains. But now, it just keeps us dormant, laying on our couches watching TV hoping for something to happen. Being an only child of a single mom, I faced fear frequently. Fear of not knowing, fear of uncertainty and not being sure about what's going to happen next. There was a lot of learning involved. I had to learn things on my own. I had to go out and seek guidance and help from others so I could overcome different obstacles. In the moment, it was a battle of overcoming anything that I was coming to face with. And now I am grateful for it. For the longest time, I faced fear. I was scared of trying new things, different experiences, businesses, videos, whatever it might be. Fear can do something to somebody that nothing else can. It takes the bravest person and freezes them. Something that really shifted my perspective about this idea of fear is a quote that I heard from Benjamin Franklin that says that most people die when they're 25 and we wait to bury them until they're 75. Most people give in to fear for their entire lives. They don't want to do anything. They don't stop learning. They stick to comfort until the day they are buried. This idea of fear has been so big and so prevalent in my life, and understanding why is it that it's so hard to overcome, that I started doing research. I started looking into it. I started trying to figure out what does it really do to you. And for that reason, I came up with a list of 6 different points, 6 different mental switches that fear puts in you. And the last one is the worst of all in my opinion. So keep watching. Imagine yourself walking around on a casual day, walking down the street and coming up to a stranger and starting a conversation. Just imagine that. Try picturing yourself doing that. You freeze up. You're not sure about it. You don't really feel comfortable doing that in the moment. You're not ready to bounce on the idea. And that's because you feel this paralysis. Freezing up, not being able to do anything. Now imagine this with a new job, a new house, a new whatever it might be. The levels are escalated to the maximum. This is because your brain's formulated in a way that it sticks to what it knows and what's comfortable, not reaching out to go explore new things because it's unsure, it's uncertain about what comes from those. And that's something that you have to push through. You have to be able to break through that barrier, make sure that you're open to learning and trying to find new things without freezing up and hesitating. Because otherwise, you'll be sitting there in the same spot, just waiting for something to happen to you. Fear goes hand in hand with laziness. People nowadays, imagine the average person nowadays, somebody that sits on their couch eating chips and watching TV at whatever free time they get. They do the bare minimum to get through the day, to get their life just moving on to the minimum that they need. Why is this? People are fearful. People don't know what happens if they try new things. That uncertainty and not being able to determine what the outcome will be gives them this hesitation to rather stick to what's comfortable and do what they're used to, which is going to their job, coming home, watching TV, relaxing, and doing it over because that's a stable sense of life. There's no motivation to try new things and do something for yourself, improve yourself, get better, because as long as you have your job and you work your 40 hours a week, 50 hours a week, whatever it might be, you're providing yourself enough to live the comfortable and sustainable life that you have going right now. For that reason, you stay there and you relax and you're comfortable. Comfort kills dreams. Fear comes from other people. This can happen in the form of comparison. Think of it like this. If you see somebody, some of your friends, some of your coworkers driving a new car, going on fancy vacations, you're comparing yourself. You're like, well, why don't I do that? Why can't I do that? Why am I, not as good as them? What are they doing better than me? And you start to go down this rabbit hole of realizing that you're not doing enough, you're not this, and then get in your mind, and you're just not the same focus level than you were. When it comes to you fear that if you start working too much and reaching too high for your goals and aspirations, people will look at you like an outsider. People will think you're weird. People will be questioning you. Why are you doing so much when you don't even know if it's going to work out? It's much more comfortable and much easier to be in that little homeostasis. People around you are at the same level, the same wavelength, same energy as you, doing the bare minimum, getting by, whatever it might be. And then you see those people that are going out there, doing too much, reaching their goals, striving for their goals, working too hard. And you all look at them and you're like, oh, they're weird, blah, blah, blah. They're doing all this weird stuff. Why are they doing that? Why don't they just relax and be like us? Comparison steals joy. When someone's doing better than you, it's a lot easier to judge them than it is to climb and reach the level that they have reached. Something that's becoming more and more prevalent and more concerning is substances. A little bit of something to take the edge off. Lose sight of reality, feel free, feel comfortable, and escape the harsh fear and delusion and whatever it might be in your life. If you're scared about starting a new job, you go out, have a couple drinks, and then you forget about it, you feel loose. If you're going through something, a divorce, lost somebody, you start drinking, you start using something to take the edge off so that you can feel relaxed. And that's because you're afraid of dealing with those emotions. Those emotions are deep, they're painful, they're not fun and not pleasant to be around, but they're necessary, they're healthy. You have to deal with them rather than cloud your vision with some outside source that's only a temporary thing that's actually just going to make things worse for you in the end. This is a very wide spectrum. You go from the person that grabs a beer at the end of the day of their job just because they want to relax to somebody that crushes an entire 30 rack because they want to forget the life that they're living. It's just very different. Large variety. Either situation, if you take it to the next level and to longer extents, it will dig you a hole which can lead to depression. A serious condition, no doubt. A person could put themselves in such a situation where they lose sight of life. They see everything dull, they see everything with a gray filter on. It's not the same. It just doesn't work. People are not doing what they should be doing, and as it goes on, they do it less and less. It gets harder before it gets easier, because the mind is so controlled over these negative emotions and fear that you put on yourself and put yourself into an even bigger fear by trying to avoid it. Overcoming depression, overcoming substance abuse is a lot larger and a lot harder than it was probably than overcoming this beginning fear that you had. Quite possibly the scariest of all is becoming a habitual individual. And this is a huge side note. We're talking about negative habits. Having good habits is a whole nother story. Keep doing those. But negative habits, such as eating junk food, watching TV, porn, whatever it might be, substances, smoking cigarettes, whatever your negative habit is, to overcome fear is ruining your life. If you're somebody that eats junk food every day and you're overweight and you can tell, you might not want to admit it, but you can realize that you're avoiding the idea that eating healthy food, cooking your own food, eating something that's better for you, and you're afraid. You don't know how to cook, you don't know what to do, and you don't want to deal with that reality. If you're somebody that watches TV all the time, you're somebody that doesn't have something going on for themselves in life. They get pleasure from watching other people do things that you wish you could do, and instead of doing them, you watch other people do them so that you can get entertainment, but they're getting paid for it. Just a very interesting concept. Obviously, watching TV occasionally to relax is good, but somebody that's watching 3-4 hours into the mornings is not really doing something for themselves. And then next is porn. If somebody is watching and consuming an excessive amount of it, it really strikes these issues within you deeply. Your relationship issues, you not being able to communicate with somebody, find a partner, somebody that you develop this meaningful connection with, and rather you turn to the next best alternative, which is the fastest alternative. You pulled up your phone and it's over. It's already right there. It's on your screen and you can go to town. These are all the easiest solutions for facing an issue and that fear with the least amount of effort. Ultimately, we know on the other side of fear is freedom. Marilyn Ferguson. But what happens when you say enough is enough? You're done succumbing to fear. In a state of fear, your mind leads you. In a state of courage, you lead your mind. Overcoming fear and becoming this courageous individual is not easy. There's no doubt about it. But putting positive habits into your life that give you front-end pain but back-end pleasure is immense. Rather than laying in your bed mindlessly scrolling through social media day in, day out, watching the calendar flip over, you put something into your life that you are improving upon. You are trying new skills, learning new things, doing research, meeting new people, just living life and overcoming fear. The process of learning and practicing something means that you have already defeated fear. You're on the path to becoming courageous, becoming your own individual that is led by their own thoughts and not your subconscious fear, an individual of action. You may be unsure about what you do to overcome fear. You're sitting here listening to this YouTube video and you're realizing, oh man, I am definitely somebody that is overpowered by fear. I'm not in control of what I do and I really want to. How do I do it? My friend, you already know the steps. Everything that I've just told you through this video, if you did the opposite, you will be on the path to becoming a courageous individual that battles fear. If you're somebody that freezes up, act fast, act with purpose. If you're somebody that's lazy, stay productive, find different things that you can work on. If you're somebody that uses substances, stop, don't use substances. Do something great for your life, and instead of relying on something to take off the edge, do something that will have positive return on you, like exercising. If you're somebody that is depressed, this is a tough one, but you have to fixate your mind and become a better version of yourself. Become somebody that is strong mentally and you have the passion and the growth inside of you to overcome it and get back to who you were. And then if you have negative habits, get rid of them, stop them. Don't do them anymore. Do things that will benefit and bring value to your life in the long run. Forgot to mention comparison. Don't compare yourself. If you see somebody doing better than you, applaud them, be proud of them. They've done something that a lot of people can't. And then reach after that. Use them as inspiration, use them as motivation, use them as somebody to learn from. Follow their footsteps. Do something that you could do in your own and get to their level. The longer you wait to undo the damage, the harder it'll be. Take control of your life and become fearless.